Right, you lot, let's talk Villa and forget about the Arsenal game. It's done, it's in the past. The Champions League draw has just gone by. You can watch my short reacting to that right now. But we are going to be previewing the Leicester game as we look to bounce back from that Arsenal defeat. If you do enjoy match previews and reviews, then please do be sure to leave a like, comment down below what you think is going to happen in this game, and of course subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss a thing. I also want to gauge something for you guys. Comment down below if you'd be interested in live reactions to the games, as in live streams of me watching the game with you guys at home. Anyway, let's talk Leicester. We have to look at their last result and their last team that they fielded. Now, they did beat Tranmere 4-0 in the Carabao Cup. I'm not counting that as a legitimate game because it is Tranmere and it is in the Carabao Cup. I am counting their last game, which was a 2-1 defeat to Fulham in the Premier League. As you can see, the stats just below me, they had like half the amount of shots and shots on goal, less possession, less fouls committed, way more offsides, and if we can exploit that, that'll be very, very handy. Way less corner kicks as well, and their goalkeeper was called into action more than Bernd Leno. In terms of their team, Hermansen in goal with Christiansen and Vestergaard on the left. Yep, why is their left-hand side of defence such long named? And then Face and Justin on the right-hand side. And Didi and Winks being their two pivots, with Fatawu and Reed and Buonanotte in the middle, just behind a 57-year-old red balled up to his eyeball, Jamie Vardy. That was their last team. Obviously, they do have some interesting options off of the bench. Jordan Ayew, ex-Villa lad himself, probably our only bright spark in the season we did end up getting relegated in. He came off of the bench in this game and started their Carabao Cup game as well. They obviously have Stephen Mavididi as well, who is a bit of a baller. But moving on to Aston Villa. Now, obviously, we did have that slightly disappointing 2-0 loss to Arsenal, where that man on the screen could have easily scored 2 goals, but we did have more shots than them, just not on target. Obviously, we should have had an extra shot on target there. Way less possession of the ball. We were just sitting in, being compact and hitting them on the counter-attack. And as you can see, they're more offsides, but more corners and goalkeepers equally worked. Now, in terms of our team, it was Martinez, Digne, Powell, Konsa-Cash, Onana, Yuri Tielemans, McGinn, Rogers, Bailey and Watkins up front. Now, do we change this team to play Leicester? Well, we're going to be forced into a couple of changes, so let's look at what I would do to the starting lineup. So as you can see on the screen, it is just the 2 changes for me, and they both come on the flanks of defence. Martinez keeps his slot in goal, obviously Pau Torres, and I'm keeping Ezri Konsa at centre-back. There are some question marks over Diego Carlos's fitness anyway. Ian Maatsen, I think, needs to be coming in to the starting lineup. Now, I understand there's going to be a bit of a bedding in process for him, but Luca Digne just looks a bit off the pace. I think Maatsen will offer more going forward, especially because John McGinn is naturally going to float inside of sort of Watkins or Rogers, whoever ends up being on the left-hand side. And then Kosta Nedeljkovic gets the nod at right-back for me. We've lost out on Gertrudia because RB Leipzig done a deal in 2 hours when we've been trying for 2 months. So the 18-year-old has to step up and get his first Premier League start already, but the future is very bright. The midfield 4 stay exactly the same. I think we actually played really, really well against Arsenal, and the midfield was a big part of that. Onana and Tielemans have been absolutely immense, and Tielemans has to score against his old team, right? Players always score against their old team. And then it's Ollie Watkins. It's redemption Ollie Watkins, should I say, up front next to Morgan Rogers, who is just an absolute delight to watch play football. What would your starting lineups be, though? Comment down below. So in terms of this game, for me, it isn't like a must win, but it's a game we must win, if that makes sense. Like, we have to be beating the newly promoted teams if we are going to continue this push to get back-to-back European promotions. If we play 90% of how we played against Arsenal in this game against Leicester, I have no doubts in my mind that we will come out of this game with 3 points. We have to be wary of the Leicester threat. They're going to have something to prove. They lost their manager. They've been promoted. They're up against FFP. They're up against the league, it would seem, if they want to play that narrative similarly to how Nottingham Forest did last season. Jamie Vardy has already proved he's a threat. They've already picked up a point in the league against Tottenham, which is hugely impressive, but we have to shut that down. And I think we need to make a statement when we're going in to a run of 5 games where we should realistically be winning at least 4 of them, and this is one that we just have to be winning. This is the position that we've put ourselves in. It's a very privileged position to say we have to be winning these types of games, considering Leicester won the Premier League merely 8-9 years ago and we haven't ever won it. So, it's a very privileged position how the mighty have fallen, but how the Lion is rising, and the Lion has to rise this game against Leicester. In terms of a prediction, I'm going to go with an outrageous 4-0. I think Ollie Watkins is going to make up for both of his misses and get 2 goals. I think Yuri Tielemans has to score against his old club, right? That's just written in the stars. And then I think Morgan Rogers gets his first goal, and I think he'll also get 2 assists in this game, as well as Leon Bailey getting 1, and then we'll give 1 to John McGinnis. That's my prediction, a big 4-0 win for Villa to reassert their dominance after the Champions League draw. The players have got to be up for it. We have to bounce back, and I think we will. Comment down below. I'll speak to you soon. Up the Villa.